Great risings, everyone. I hope you're doing well. This is your girl Rempet. I'm back with another podcast. This one is the kind of like continuation from a podcast. I can't even remember the name of the podcast that I did, but it was about things that you should or should not be doing when you're doing in spirituality in general. Today, I was on Facebook and I came across a post from one Facebook group. It was a root workers hoodoo type group, and the post was a GoFundMe post first of all, and it said the person that posted said, "Oh, my daughter has been murdered," so she was doing a GoFundMe, to collect money, obviously for this what's happened. And it's really, really sad, but it does go back to what I've been saying about not everybody should be doing this. One thing I've noticed about that particular group, and I won't call it out, I don't even really remember the name of the group, and I left the group as soon as I saw that, because Spirit said to me, you see, this is why there's certain things that you should not be doing. Because when you're doing spiritual work, or you're someone who is attacking someone, or you're trying to destroy someone's life, or you're trying to destroy someone's relationship, whatever it is, especially if it's on a more malicious type of work that you're doing, you have to make sure you're protected. Even when you're doing a simple little blessing and spell work in your house, you have to make sure your environment is protected. You need to make sure your children are protected. This is why not everybody should be doing it. And I've said this before, just because you can doesn't mean that you should be doing this. It is not for everyone. Not everybody has the protection. Some of us have been around the block a few times when it comes to, we've been doing this in past lives. Some people, so the protection is already there. Some people just thought, oh, let me try something and it looks good. You can't, it's not everything that you see you must do. You are putting yourself at risk. You are putting your children at risk. Beautiful young girl. Really sad to see that her daughter had been murdered because you're focusing on other things rather than focusing on your children. It's not everything that you can be out here doing. Now, don't get me wrong. It could, may have nothing to do with it. But Spirit said to me, it's because they were focusing on things that they shouldn't have been focusing on. They didn't put the protection in place, number one. Number two, it's not everybody that should be doing this. Just because you saw a nice little incantation spell on YouTube does not mean that you must do it. Just because you saw a break them up spell on YouTube doesn't mean that you should do it. You don't even know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you're attacking. You don't know what kind of protection they have. You don't know what their ancestors. You don't know their lineage. You don't know anything. Now, I'm not having a go at this particular lady. I don't know this woman. It's just a post I saw. But it just highlights how you don't play in these spiritual streets. You don't play. Because if they don't get you, they will get your children. If you can't catch Harry, you will catch him shirt. That's an old Jamaican saying. If they can't get you, they'll get the next best thing, which is your children. They'll get those who are close to you, around you. So you're there thinking you're protected. You're protected. Maybe your home is protected. Your grown-up child, they're not, because you didn't think of that. Because you're too wrapped up in bitterness, resentment, jealousy, envy, whatever it is. This is why you can't do spiritual work with these type of emotions, these type of energies, because it just brings back more. It's not. These are changeable energies, number one. You can be angry one moment and fine the next. You don't do spiritual work when you're angry. You don't do spiritual work when you're jealous. You don't do spiritual work when you're ridiculously tired. There's certain times you don't do it. And then you have to think about who am I directing this energy to? Because the people that you're directing the energy to may have a good support system around them. May have a good ancestral protection shield around them. Their relationship, if it's, if you're trying to split up a person, their relationship may be protected by the Most High, and you with your far self, God, about you gonna throw witchcraft over there? and you thought, well, I'm protected, it won't come back. Oh, you have to be careful. So that's all I want to say. It is just a cautionary tale, really, and it just reiterates and really, really cements what I've been saying for the past few years. Because there's opportunities, I've had opportunities to do, when someone did me something, I could have retaliated. But Spirit said you can't fight fire with fire, because you just make more fire. So what do? You just protect yourself, you protect those around you, you step up your vibration, you step up, you do your self-work, your shadow work, because then the more you work on yourself, the more the energy, when it comes to, it will just bounce off, it will flow off, because it doesn't find any way in. But when you're both fighting the same, you're both coming from a place of jealousy, envy, whatever, and you're going back and forth in the spirit realm, throwing fire at each other, you're just going to make a big, big fire. Rather you step away, leave them to it, and deal with your shadow. Deal with your shadow. Step up your spiritual care. Step up your rituals. Step up your raising your vibration. Step up your protection things. Step up your relationship with your ancestors and with your deities and with your angels. Step that up. You don't fight fire with fire. Okay, so that's the podcast. That's my thoughts on certain situation. Let me know how you feel about this. Leave a comment down below. And yeah, I'll be back soon with another podcast.